So this is our presentation on selective attention. Charlotte and I decided to focus on selective attention within jobs and how it affects your job roles that you may have, and also how your job roles affect your selective attention. To start off, I researched how selective attention relates to piloting. I read an article and it looked at the relationship between working memory, attentional processes, and spatial disorientation. A bit of background: spatial orientation relies on the information from visual, vestibular, and proprioceptive systems. The information from these three systems is then used to determine your position using a fixed coordinate relating to the Earth's surface and the Earth's gravity. The article says that visual systems are the most important because they provide about 80% of the information, and using this information it makes sense why most of the cause of spatial disorientation and air traffic accidents is because of visual illusions. As a part of this study, 66 pilots did a false horizon simulation. This means that they simulated a false horizon illusion. And a false horizon illusion is basically when a pilot sees something that isn't horizontal and they interpret it as horizontal. For example, clouds that are slanted or the lights of a city that are on a hill. This then means that the pilots have interpreted the information wrong and that they won't be flying horizontally, which can lead to crashes. In this study, I looked at the different cognitive styles of the pilots, but I'm going to focus on the field-dependent cognitive style because that's the one that was most linked to selective attention. Pilots with a field-dependent cognitive style were more likely to become spatially disorientated if they had a lower selective attention and a higher attention switching during concurrent tasks. From my understanding, a concurrent task is when the order of the task is not determined beforehand, so the pilot doesn't know what happens first and has to work it out as they go. Using the information from the article, it suggests that pilots should be routinely tested on their attention and working memory to ensure that they are less likely to have spatial disorientation. However, that's not the case as of right now.
So the job of an air traffic controller really requires a lot of attention, as they have a lot of high stakes in their job and it's happening all really quickly. They need to communicate with a lot of planes, and what they have to do is they have to control the navigation of several aircrafts at the same time, coordinate with the adjacent planes, and they have to perform pre-planning, separate leveled aircrafts which are either climbing or descending. And this requires selective attention as they can't be focusing on other things going on around them, or it could result in mistakes, and that could really cost lives and really catastrophic events. There was a study in the Department of Dementia and Neuropsychology from the US National Institute of Health, and what they did is they took air traffic controllers specifically, and they wanted to look at their levels of attention and whether it changed over years. And what they did is they took 30 of them and they separated them in two different groups. One had been in the profession for 10 plus years and one had been in the profession for less than 10 years. And they were measured by the psychologist who created the study using an attention assessment. And this attention assessment was applied in accordance with the Brazilian Federal Council of Psychology guidelines. It was made up of many different factors. There was the deployment factor, the attention capacity factor, the PASAT test, which was to do with mental manipulation capacity, and all of this quantitative data was recorded and analysed. The air traffic controllers, who had been in the job for over 10 years, showed greater resistance to interference, so that means that it took more for their attention to be diverted, as would be expected because they had been focusing on doing their one task for more than 10 years. And when compared to the air traffic controllers who had been in their job for less than 10 years, they presented higher focus in all of the tests. Overall, the study showed that working at a job that requires the use of selective attention and high focus actually improves your ability to achieve a higher level of focus and a higher mental capacity. And this in turn makes them better at selective attention.
The next article I read was Shanna Spear's thesis from 2011. The aim of the study was to determine whether different types of auditory stimulation affected productivity of office workers. The participants of the study were 26 office workers between the ages of 22 and 62 with the mean age of 41. It was a repeated measure design and the three conditions were music, talking and silence. The music was a CD that was brought in by each participant of music that they would normally listen to at work, and the speech was from a talk show that was normally listened to at work. The order of the IVs was randomly selected to reduce order effects. The test used to measure attention was the D2 test of attention, created by Brickenkamp and Zillmer in 1998. It was a type of cancellation test. Normally, the test consists of 14 lines of 47 lowercase d's and p's. Spear randomly selected and duplicated one line to create a 15th line for the purpose of the study. This was so that each participant could fill out 5 lines in each condition. Each of the letters in the lines had either a short dash above or below them, and some had no dashes. The instruction of the test was to cross out any D's that have 2 dashes above them or below them with a pencil. Participants were not allowed to erase mistakes. Although the results showed that the music background generated the highest total number of items completed, it also showed that the difference was not significant from the other 2 conditions. However, it was found that participants who believed that music would distract them had a lower performance rate when the music was present, and participants that believed that music helped them be more productive had a greater performance rate when music was present. Although the results of this study show that there was no significance, other studies in the past have shown there are a significance between listening to music and working. Hallam et al. 2002 found that background music did not improve the accuracy of students completing arithmetic problems, however it did increase the speed. This is similar to the results of this study, as participants did complete the task faster in the music condition than in any other condition. Although the results of the study did not indicate that playing music would increase the accuracy of the work done, it did show that it may increase the speed at which work is done. This indicates that it might be beneficial for office workers to have music in the background while they are working, as it may increase their selective attention. It also may be beneficial as music is known to boost morale, therefore improve the job satisfaction and lead to increased productivity. And to finish off, these are our references of all the articles that we read for this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.